What's up, everyone? Been having some good conversations with some people lately. We're gonna go outside, and the topic that has come up on a few different occasions warranted, working strategically, and in that, what do you do in moments where it can ultimately be your word against somebody else's? You got to have evidence, and you got to build your own evidence. And I've gone through this first and foremost years ago when I worked at another job. I had taken my case to the state, and I went in as a young man, but I got all of my own evidence, the things that I needed, the things that I built up. So when it came down to like my word against the companies, my word was legit. It wasn't just the ramblings of a disgruntled employee. You have to go into, it's like even a fist fight, go in without emotion. It sounds hard because when we think of being combative, that we don't necessarily think like, well, I would never fight somebody level-headed. You need to, because when you're fighting out of emotion, you're not seeing things. And yes, you want to have a level or an edge to you, but you don't want to be so blinded by your own tears that you don't see the logic in some things. I have a friend who is needing some advice on something she's going through with her job as well. And what I tell her is what I tell everybody. You have to start documenting what it is that you are trying to prove is happening. You have to document it. And when I mean document, I mean dates, times. Even if you have to start quoting what people have said, keep a little notebook on you. Or in this day and age, like if you can have your phone, things like that, you have to stockpile your evidence, because if it's your word against somebody else's, especially if they're more powerful or more trusted in society, then you have a really hard and uphill battle. So write the things down. And I mean minute details. I would write down if the person had like a mustard stain on their shirt from lunch that day or something, because there's something about when you introduce evidence that has like that air of detail. There's that moment where it's introduced and it's like you can see that look on their face, like, oh, I did spill mustard. And that's when it becomes a body language, starts to tell truths. You may not always get that opportunity, but be as detailed as possible. Dates, times, specific times. And that's just in, this is speaking to somebody in a workplace. Now, if we're talking about more personal, have your phone running. I've seen a few incidents, and I had to do it myself, where if you are in an incident, especially as a man, have your phone running. If you are having any sort of, and I don't mean domestic violence, just domestic confrontation, conflict with your other, because there's been a lot of times where these phone recordings have saved, I'm sure, men from being arrested, prosecuted, fined, where they're losing jobs, things like that. And ladies, do the same as well. If you are being harassed in a particular way, say at work or by a neighbor or by somebody, just, then you can build a case if you need to go to the authorities, things like that. Let me pause here. There's a loud car coming by. You really have to build your evidence, build your case. In a lot of cases, yes, you might be believed, but why take that chance? Why take the chance? Why even leave, seeds of doubt? Because in my last need to stack evidence, it was damning, it was damaging, it was the death blow to what I had to prove and against the person I had to prove it. And this has been something I've done on many cases over time, because a lot of times people, when disgruntled, will start to act or speak out against you in a way that is not true, but it's only because hurt feelings will sometimes rule the day. So that's when these people are fighting with emotion, which is blinding them to truth, and I'm fighting with logic. Fight with your logic, stack up a case, get your evidence, and be exactly on point when that moment of truth comes. I don't have much more to add to that. Hopefully, an ace up the sleeve for a lot of you means that you have been through it and triumphed, or did you learn from it that you should have had something from in the form of evidence? So I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully this finds everybody in a place, pursuit, or a beginning mindset to have total health, mind, body, and soul. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.